This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Friday, October 20th of 2023. Really hard to believe we're already almost at the end of Porktober, and we're so glad you could join us for today's show. In today's episode, I talk with Mike Probst of BASF about some of the things they've seen going on in this year's crop season. We also have a check of that ag weather outlook, but first let's run down the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're talking with Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. First off, Curt, what do we see in the grain markets today?
Well, once again, we need to fix this Friday thing. It's just not been too good here. Down again. Basically, boom, yesterday we had a lot of enthusiasm coming in on big up meal day. Corn popped out $5. The conspiracy guy theory on crop insurance was supposedly buying it off. We went hit some technical buying, but what happened today specifically probably was several things. We did not see a confirmation that China actually purchased some U.S. corn and U.S. wheat, and I think that put the trade in check. We were higher overnight. These corn up close to 5.10, and beans, a little higher. I think they generated some little hedging. That's pretty good pop off those lows. Weekend coming up, harvest progress taking place. Just kind of put the brakes on the run-in through here. Then front and center that anybody that's following the news is Israel-Gaza situation. It just continues to escalate slowly, but it's getting a little bit of concern. We've got a weekend here at this recording right now. The invasion, on off, we'll see. But going into the weekend through here, 2 days off of markets, I think we saw managed money kind of getting positioned in through here. If different countries take different sides real dang quick, some of our largest buyers could be in a position here where it could maybe jeopardize some grain deals. Maybe we don't know, but I think that was part of the backing and filling in through here that we saw. Hate to see the market do it after all that work, but we backed up a little. Coming into next week, harvest progress still scooting along. As a nation, corn harvest is expected to be 60 to 65% complete. Average is 54. Bean harvest is expected to be 82% complete. Average for this time of year is 67% complete. We're seeing the Eastern Belt. They were slow getting in. They're going to be slow getting out. One observation was it's kind of wet. One guy's 50% beans cut on his farms, but he's having to dry the beans down. Hasn't not started with corn. So, here locally, Central Illinois, we're getting wrapped up. The beans are fairly well out. Corn maybe half done on it, but the weather forecast looks like it's going to cooperate going into middle part of next week. So no real lines at the elevator. Stuff's dried down pretty good. So we're seeing highly variable yields still, but for the most part, pleasantly surprised compared to what we were looking at in June. So that continues to be the main theme. Technically, week-wise, December corn futures did hang in there and close up 2.25 cents on the day at $4.95.5. But the discouraging news is we made a new high for the move, closed lower, so we got a daily hook reversal down on the charts. A lot of the trade was kind of hoping D's corn would stay above $5 to keep that momentum going. So it's going to be important to see the corn market hold the uptrend line here. We're not reversed down confirmation yet, But looking at the charts in through here, we've got a nice rounded bottom and possibly head and shoulders bottom. But if we kind of fizz out here and don't hold these uptrend lines, the technicians could probably get a little negative. Soybeans actually finished pretty strong for the week, up 22 cents in the Novembers. They closed at 13.02 and a quarter. They're trying to stay above $13 also. The high on Friday here in the November chart was 13.18 and a half. We closed lower. That's going to be kind of a resistance level to get above. The technical guys, we're kind of hoping we get up to 13.33 in the November beans. But we're still in this uptrend, so it's going to be important for soybeans to hold the uptrend also. December wheat futures up 6 1/4. They closed 5.86. Just like the corn and beans, a little bit of a daily hook reversal down, but still in the uptrend in through here. So technically, we've got an uptrend going and got a little resistance above the marketplace on that. Otherwise, it's kind of skinny on news. A lot of uncertainty this weekend. Crude oil, gold, silver, all kind of held in there, just recording firmer, kind of having a little bit of war premium in place there. So we'll see what happens there as we move into next week. As a producer, the big question is, should I store or should I sell? And there's a lot of pencil pushing going on there.
And then, of course, obviously big focus on the grains right now with harvest going on. But what are we seeing in the livestock markets as well?
Yeah, we're going to see what the cattle and feed report says later this afternoon here. Cattle and feeds expect to be anywhere from 99 to 100% of a year ago. Placements 95.9 to 103.4. The average is right at 100. The marketings expect to be down about 9%. The average trade guess is 88 to 92%. The average guess there is about 90.3. On the week, cattle futures finished a couple bucks lower. We're sort of getting down to a very challenging the last week's lows. Those last week's lows need to kind of hold here from the technical point of view. Overall cattle fundamentals still remain the same, but we'll see how this cattle and feed report unfolds here to kind of give us some direction on whether we're starting to see some heifer retention or not. Hog-wise, down 350 for the week. The technical chart and the hogs really turned sloppy here. We had a May low there up front at in the December futures at 67.32. We closed below there at 66 even. So the double bottom on the chart has got the technicians a little negative. Cash-wise, lean index continues to kind of slide lower. It's at 80.45. It's above where the lean futures are, but that lean contract keeps on a downtrend in through here. It's a little concerning, particularly during the month of October, pork month.
All right, Curt, lots of great information today for those of our listeners and our viewers who'd like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net. How can they do that?
800-779-1515 is the number for our location here. But agmarket.net and click on Intel. That's where all the good research information is stored at.
All right, Curt, we'll let you get started and well, more specifically, get out of here on this Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Very good. Catch you guys next week.
That again was Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. At the close, December corn down 9.5 at 495.5. November soybeans down 13 1/4 at 13.02 1/4. December soybean meal up 90 cents at 423.90. Soybean oil up 28 cents at 53.39. Chicago wheat down 8 even at 5.86 even. Minneapolis spring wheat down 8 1/4 at 7.30 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 6 1/4 at 6.70 even. December oats up 7 3/4 at 3.82 1/2. On the Merc, December live cattle down 67 at 184.62. November feeders down 227 at 242.22. December lean hogs down $2 at 66 even. December pork cutout down 152 at 76.42, and October Class 3 milk up a penny at 16.88. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association, and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Mike Probst of BASF. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. This year was certainly an interesting one for crop conditions, whether it was the weather challenges that we had, pest issues, and really you name it, we probably had it this year. I talked with Mike Probst of BASF about some of the challenges that he saw on his end of things. We are here at the Farm Progress Show talking with Mike Probst. He's a tech service rep with BASF, covering central and southern Illinois, right? You got it. All right, so just thinking about the crops this year, had some interesting issues with it because there's been those drought concerns, and then earlier in the season, we had part of that derecho come through Iowa, but it really gained strength into Illinois. Those concerns as well, and now we're getting rain all of a sudden again. Just walk us through just kind of what a crazy year it's been for the crop season.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster. We had a lot of concerns early in the year, considering that we went through a good portion of May and most of June without enough moisture to get us what we thought we needed. And so going into the end of June, there was a lot of concerns about the quality of the crop and a lot of question marks. Luckily, around that July 4th timeframe, we did get some rain come through, along with some maybe more adverse weather, but you kind of take what you can get. But that did instill a lot of hope back into, I think, growers to realize that there was still a lot of potential out there. After that, things really started to get more variable. We have some areas that continue to get some of those timely rains where I think we're going to have a really good crop out there. But there are some pockets out there that were warm and dry through July where we got good pollination early, but we just didn't have the conditions to get good grain fill. So I think that's going to show up when the combines start running through the field, where we're going to see a lot of variability. If you were in the right spot, you're probably going to do really well. If you were in the wrong spot, it's probably not going to be a great year.
And of course, we know that there is still time for the rest of this crop to be made before those combines are rolling, if just a very little bit of time for that to go through. But, just even looking recently at what we've had, just here at the Farm Progress Show, we've had a bit of rain over the weekend. Last week, insanely hot temperatures. And then before that, we had some pretty nice weather. So it's just that, like you mentioned, the timeliness of when these weather conditions have happened, because, like you mentioned, that grain fill was really, it took a little bit of a hit.
Yeah, we can't control the weather, so unfortunately that's out of our control, and some people got luckier than others. But I think we are still seeing an advantage in some of those people that did act upon what they were able to control. We are starting to see tar spot show up in some areas, and some questions in terms of maybe some folks that didn't utilize fungicides, they're seeing it show up and then questioning, whether they should spray or whether they missed out on something versus the folks that kind of kept hammering on that crop and utilizing those fungicides. I think they still gave it a really good shot. So even though maybe the weather didn't cooperate, there were some things that we were still able to control that I think are going to be a benefit to us at the end of the year.
And then speaking of things that we can control, how have the BASF products been kind of handling this? Because there's been a lot thrown at them this year. Have they been able to just kind of adapt to that? We found maybe some surprising things from certain traits.
Yeah, I think we've done really well. Everything has been challenged the last couple of years, especially when I think of our weed control products. The ones that were set up for success, in my opinion, were successful, but we have had some tough conditions when we're making our post-emergence applications for weed control. And I think in that June timeframe, when it was hot and it was dry, we did see some challenges, especially if there were some larger weeds out there that we were trying to control. I think the difference was those who were maybe a little bit more proactive, utilizing those residuals like we prefer, and keeping a lot of those weeds from coming out of the ground in the first place. Those were probably the ones where we saw more success stories, but even a lot of folks that did everything right still did have some troubles, just something that can't be avoided.
Right, we always know year to year, some new weed can come out, existing weeds can have adaptations to treatments that we've already been using, because I've heard a lot of the way you have to handle weed management. Sometimes you just have to keep throwing curveballs and making sure that you have a plan that works, but you need to have that full plan, right? You can't just rely on traits from your products. You can't just rely on scouting alone. You have to have that full management plan.
Yeah, and you use the word plan. I think that's the key word. That's something that I try to instill in our customers when we have those discussions is go forward with a plan. You might have to adjust throughout the season depending on what's going on, but at least you have an idea of what it is that you want to do and try to stick to that plan as much as possible and be very proactive instead of reactive. The issues that we a lot of times see are when we're reacting to weeds emerging instead of trying to stay ahead of them and control them as timely as possible. So that's something that I really try to instill is to have that plan, know what you want to do throughout the season, and make sure it's a very, a robust plan that if everything goes right, it should work very well.
Right, and this advice applies everywhere because, we're based in Iowa and we'll have mostly Iowa viewers on this, but that's the same thing. You got to look at that plan. We've seen similar conditions. We didn't see maybe as much of that derecho, but the weed pressure comes through every year. Like you mentioned, tar spot earlier. Just having that comprehensive plan to track everything is exactly what we need. So thanks for taking the time to visit with us today. Is there anything else, just crop conditions-wise here in Illinois, or just things you've noticed in general through BASF that our listeners and viewers should know about today?
Outside of what we're seeing this year, I think we're already starting to look towards next year, where BASF is going to have a couple of key launch products show up commercially, those being Certain and Liberty Ultra. So I think that is going to those are both going to have a really good spot in, like we talked about, those plans, whether it's for corn or soybean weed control. Really excited to start incorporating some new technology into those plans, so keep an eye out for that.
And if our producers want to keep an eye out and stay really up to date with the happenings and the news on all of that, where should they go for that information?
You can always reach out to your local retailer and they can get you in touch with a BASF rep that should be able to help you out.
All right, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today, and enjoy the rest of the Farm Progress Show.
All right, happy to help. Thank you.
That again was Mike Probst of BASF. Let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Really not much to complain about in the weather coming up for this weekend. Today we have sunny skies and really nice weather for a fall day, especially as we're really in the heat or the cool of fall at this point in the season. Now looking into this weekend, some wind picking up and slightly cooler, but still some of that great fall weather. So hopefully those farmers who are out in the fields can continue to be out there and maybe even get close to wrapping up harvest. So let's see what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours. As you can see from the National Weather Service, some really nice fall weather up ahead. Today we have clear sunny skies and warmer temps, highs ranging from the mid-60s to upper 70s. Tonight will be clear and cool with lows overnight ranging from the mid-40s to low 50s. And tomorrow should be sunny and windy with highs ranging from the low to upper 60s. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be sunny with a high of 63, Shenandoah sunny and 69, Des Moines sunny and windy and 65, Waterloo sunny and windy and 63, Albia sunny and breezy and 66, and Clinton will see sunny skies with windy conditions and a high of 63. You can find a more detailed forecast in your part of the state by checking in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And if you don't know who your local affiliate is, head on over to our website at iowaagnet.com to find a list of those affiliates. You can also find our 5 daily ag news stories there, as well as all of the rest of our content. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, TikTok, and LinkedIn. You can find our video content specifically on our YouTube channel. And make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live, especially these upcoming episodes of Ag Matters PM. Don't forget as well our free Twice Daily Market podcast on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Dustin Huffman, and Andy Peterson, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.